The road through Mississippi stretches long and wide, bordered by timeless landscapes, old highways, and a sense of open freedom. On this journey, three icons of the grand touring world come together: the Aston Martin Vanquish, the Ferrari Portofino, and the Mercedes-AMG GTS. Each one represents a different vision of what it means to be a grand tourer, and today, we're diving into the debate of which one delivers the truest GT experience. The Aston Martin Vanquish, a car that feels like it was designed not just to drive, but to arrive. Its sculpted elegance, with a 6.0-liter naturally aspirated V12, an engine that sings with a tone only Aston Martin can create. It's a machine that blends heritage with drama, a car built for covering long distances with style, while still reminding you that luxury doesn't have to sacrifice power. The Vanquish doesn't shout. It speaks in a refined voice, yet every throttle press is a reminder that underneath the gentleman's suit lies raw, unmistakable muscle. Then comes the Ferrari Portofino. Modern, sleek, and effortlessly Italian. With a 3.9-liter twin-turbo V8, it's the most technologically advanced of the trio. The Portofino is Ferrari's invitation to the open-road convertible freedom with supercar performance hidden beneath. It's playful yet refined, a machine that transforms Mississippi's stretches of highway into a symphony of power and elegance. Where the Aston emphasizes tradition, the Portofino focuses on evolution: lighter, sharper, and more accessible, but no less intoxicating. And finally, the AMG GTS. Mercedes' answer to the question, can brute force still be refined enough to be a grand tourer? With a handcrafted 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8, it roars with aggression but balances it with German precision. The AMG GTS feels shorter, sharper, almost more impatient compared to the Vanquish and Portofino. But that's its charm. It doesn't just glide, it attacks. Yet, behind that muscle car persona, there's still comfort, luxury, and a sense of occasion that makes it worthy of GT status. So, what defines a true grand tour? Is it the effortless cruising comfort? The ability to cover long distances without fatigue? The balance between performance and refinement? Or is it the personality, the way a car makes you feel when you're behind the wheel on a journey like this one? The Vanquish represents timeless tradition and British craftsmanship. The Portofino is modern luxury fused with Italian soul. The AMG GTS brings German engineering and unapologetic attitude. As these three glide through Mississippi's roads, each one tells a different story. For some, the Vanquish is the perfect gentleman's choice. For others, the Portofino's open-air thrill is irresistible. And for those who crave adrenaline with a bit of luxury on the side, the AMG GTS is the ultimate answer. At the end of the day, there's no single winner, only perspectives. That's what makes the debate around grand tourers so fascinating. They're not just cars. They're companions for the journey, reflections of personality, and statements of taste. And so, as the sun sets on the Mississippi horizon, these three machines continue down the road, leaving behind the echoes of their engines and carrying forward the eternal debate of what it truly means to be a grand tourer. The night begins to fall, and the atmosphere changes. Streetlights flicker along the highways. The neon glow from small-town diners reflects off polished bodywork, and each grand tourer begins to reveal a different side of its personality. The Aston Martin Vanquish, under the soft glow of the moonlight, feels like a car built for grand entrances. Its design, sculpted with flowing lines, carries a timeless silhouette. It doesn't just look fast, it looks significant. Inside, the Vanquish cocoons the driver in hand-stitched leather, traditional craftsmanship meeting modern touches. Every button feels deliberate, every surface telling a story of elegance. Driving it across Mississippi at night, you don't just hear the V12, you feel its heartbeat, steady and confident, like it was made for journeys that never need to end. The Ferrari Portofino, on the other hand, transforms with the push of a button. The retractable roof folds away, and suddenly, the experience becomes more visceral. The night air rushes in, the smell of pine and asphalt blends with the soundtrack of the twin-turbo V8. This isn't just a drive, It's an experience designed to awaken all the senses. Every downshift sends a pulse through the air, every acceleration a reminder that Ferrari knows how to combine romance with raw power. On Mississippi's river roads, the Portofino is not just transportation, it's a performance, a rolling theater of speed and beauty. And then there's the AMG GTS, the loudest, boldest personality of the three. Its exhaust note dominates the quiet southern night, echoing off walls and bridges. Where the Aston whispers and the Ferrari sings, the AMG shouts with unapologetic authority. It's aggressive, but it's also loyal, always ready to unleash its fury when asked, yet equally comfortable cruising with surprising smoothness. In the AMG, you feel like you're commanding the road rather than simply driving it. Mississippi itself becomes the fourth character in this story. The long stretches of highway, the quiet towns, the distant glow of city skylines, all of it frames these cars in a setting that feels almost cinematic. The roads seem endless, and in each car, endless feels like exactly what you want. That's the essence of a grand tourer, the ability to keep going, to chase the horizon without ever worrying about the journey ending. Comparisons continue as the miles pass. The Vanquish may be heavier, but its presence commands respect. It glides effortlessly, reminding you that true luxury is measured not in numbers, but in how you feel after hours behind the wheel. The Portofino is sharper, quicker, and more agile, a car that tempts you to push harder, to chase every curve with confidence. The AMG GTS stands as the wild card, the rebel of the trio, but one that proves grand touring doesn't have to mean compromise. Inside each cabin, the differences are clear. The Aston surrounds you with tradition, wood, leather, and design that speaks of heritage. The Ferrari wraps you in modern Italian sportiness, a cockpit that feels futuristic yet intimate. The AMG offers a balance of tech and aggression, a car that feels like it was engineered for both luxury and speed with equal measure. As dawn begins to approach, the cars pull over near the Mississippi River. The reflections of their headlights shimmer on the water's surface. It's a quiet moment, a pause in the debate. Each driver steps out, looking back at their machines. Three different answers to the same question: what makes the perfect grand tourer? The truth is, there may never be a single answer. For some, the Aston Martin Vanquish is unmatched in elegance. For others, the Ferrari Portofino is irresistible with its blend of open-air thrill and supercar performance. And for many, the AMG GTS proves that brute power can still deliver sophistication, but that's the beauty of the grand tourer. It's not about finding one perfect car. It's about finding the car that feels perfect for you. A grand tourer isn't measured only by horsepower or top speed, but by the way it turns every journey into a story. And on Mississippi's endless roads, each of these machines proves that the story is just beginning. The morning mist rises gently over the Mississippi backroads. The sound of three engines breaking the silence is almost poetic. The Aston Martin Vanquish hums with a steady tone, calm and composed. The Ferrari Portofino cracks and pops with every gear change, playful and theatrical. The AMG GTS thunders like a beast waking from slumber, shaking the still air with its raw growl. As the convoy rolls deeper into the heart of Mississippi, small towns begin to pass by. Old brick storefronts, gas stations frozen in time, and roadside diners where the smell of fresh coffee fills the air. This is where the character of a grand tourer truly matters. These cars are not built for a single burst of adrenaline, they're built for journeys, for hundreds of miles blending into thousands, without ever losing their magic. At the diner stop, the cars idle outside. Their presence draws eyes, locals glance through windows, jaws drop, and conversations pause. These aren't ordinary cars parked in front of an old cafe. They are statements of passion, each representing decades of heritage, engineering, and culture. The Vanquish sits there like royalty, elegant and timeless. The Portofino sparkles under the morning sun, a slice of Italian Riviera transported into the South. The AMG GTS looks mean, its muscular stance turning the quiet street into a stage. Back on the road, the drivers push forward. The Vanquish glides effortlessly, its V12 delivering smooth waves of power. The Portofino dances with agility, carving through corners with confidence, reminding you that it shares DNA with Ferrari's pure supercars. The AMG GTS, meanwhile, demands respect with every press of the throttle. Its twin-turbo V8 feels explosive, yet under control. Each car approaches the same road differently, and that's where the debate deepens. Because what makes a Grand Tourer great isn't just the numbers on paper. It's about how a car handles fatigue, how it makes you feel after hours on the road. It's about whether you step out of the cabin refreshed or drained. It's about whether you look back at the car after parking it, unable to walk away, without one last glance. The Mississippi River appears again, this time in daylight. The road traces its curves, offering sweeping views and open stretches. This is where the trio truly comes alive. The Vanquish leans into the horizon, smooth and confident. The Portofino invites the driver to drop a gear, chasing the echo of its exhaust through tunnels of trees. The AMG GTS launches forward, always daring, always bold, its acceleration turning the morning quiet into rolling thunder. Hours pass, yet the excitement never fades. That's the promise of a true GT. The road never feels long, and the journey never feels like a chore. Instead, every mile feels like a memory being created, every stop a story worth telling. And while these three cars each embody a different philosophy, together they show that the definition of a Grand Tourer is not fixed. It's fluid, shaped by culture, by engineering, by the passions of those who build and drive them. For Aston Martin, it's about timeless luxury meeting the soul of a V12. For Ferrari, it's about passion, speed, and the joy of the open air. For Mercedes-AMG, it's about raw power delivered with unexpected refinement. The debate isn't about who wins, because in truth, all of them do. The real victory belongs to the driver who chooses, who takes the wheel, and who sets out on a journey that doesn't end when the road does. And as Mississippi stretches endlessly ahead, one truth becomes clear. The Grand Tourer is not just a car. It's a philosophy, a lifestyle, and a companion for the road that leads beyond the horizon. As the last miles of Mississippi roll beneath the tires, the debate between these three icons feels less like competition and more like celebration. Each one has proven its worth, carving out a unique identity in the world of Grand Tourers. The Aston Martin Vanquish leaves its mark with elegance, a car that never shouts, but always makes itself known. It's the definition of refined power, a true gentleman of the road. The Ferrari Portofino ends the journey the way it began, thrilling, emotional, and intoxicating. Every rev, every shift, is a reminder that Ferrari builds cars not just to be driven, but to be felt. And the AMG GTS stands tall as the unexpected hero, raw, bold, and unapologetically loud. A machine that proves German precision can still carry a wild spirit. Together, they paint a picture of what grand touring really means, not about perfection, not about statistics, but about the stories you create behind the wheel. The late-night drives, the empty highways, the long-distance escapes, these are the moments that define a grand tourer. So, which one speaks to you? Is it the timeless Vanquish, the passionate Portofino, or the relentless AMG GTS? The answer is yours, and maybe that's the beauty of this debate. There is no single winner, only the one that wins your heart. And as the sun sets on this Mississippi road, the journey doesn't end. Because in the world of cars, every destination is just the beginning of the next adventure. If you enjoyed this journey, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more automotive adventures, and join us as we continue the road to 1,000. Comment below which of these three grand tours would you take for your ultimate drive and why. Your voice is part of this debate, and we want to hear it. The road goes on, and so does the story. This was part 4, and the best is yet to come.